Also I heard the voice of the Lord saying, Whom shall I send, and who will go for us? And I said, Here am I, send me. He said, Go and tell this people. You'll be ever hearing but never understanding. You'll be ever seeing but never perceiving. This people's heart has become calloused. They hardly hear with their ears, and they've closed their eyes. Otherwise they might see with their eyes, hear with their ears, understand with their hearts, and turn and be healed. That's Isaiah 6, 8 through 10. Many English translations don't really capture the essence of those verses. They kind of create the idea that Isaiah is cursing the people, saying, Be ever hearing, and so on. But the more direct translation from the Hebrew is, You will be ever hearing, and so on. The difference is important because it changes the purpose of the message. So this is not a curse, it's a call to repentance. So it's the Lord's assessment of the state of the heart of the man who refuses to love the truth. So the rest of the book of Isaiah makes it very clear it's a call to repentance. In fact, the pretty much the New Testament gospel is preached in the book of Isaiah, especially in chapter 53, but among a few other places. And so if we look at the parable of the prodigal son, found in Luke 15, the father allowed the rebellious son to go the way that he insisted on going, to his own destruction. The son's ultimate destruction was not the father's purpose. That's never what he wanted. But he allowed him to move incrementally ever closer to his own destruction until he came to his senses, as verse 17 puts it, and repented. We know the father's desire was salvation for his son because while he was still a long way off, if you know the passage, his father saw him and was filled with compassion for him, ran to him, threw his arms around him, and kissed him. That's in verse 20 of Luke chapter 15. And we can look in Romans chapter 1, verses 18 through 32. And see that the Lord does give over men who suppress the truth by their wickedness to their own ways. If he desired their ultimate destruction, he could just do that. But instead he gives them over. He allows them time. He lets them have those natural consequences of the path they've chosen. Paul counseled the church at Corinth when they were dealing with a rebellious man to hand this man over to Satan, so the sinful nature may be destroyed and his spirit saved on the day of the Lord. That's 1 Corinthians 5:5. He gave Timothy the same counsel, 1 Timothy 1, 18 through 20. In both instances, he makes it clear that the goal of giving them over, handing them over to Satan, is that they be brought to repentance and saved. So I ask you, have you been given over to your own ways? Has someone in your life been handed over to Satan? God is not harassing you. He's allowing you to choose whom you will serve. He set life and death before us. And he's allowing us to experience the natural consequences that result from a hatred of the truth. And yes, even a born-again Christian can hate the truth. So we're not immune to that. We have to guard our hearts. We have to watch out for that. How far you go down the road to self-destruction is up to you. Today, if you hear his voice, don't harden your heart. Turn and be healed.